guys! Welcome to another episode of Educate with Aikha. So how are you guys feeling today? I hope you're all doing fine. So if ever you're listening while doing your chores or even while doing your schoolworks, I hope you learned something from today's episode. For today, we're gonna talk about companion animal welfare problem. Basically, ito lang yung mga problems na hinaharap ng pets natin. Personally, I'm an animal lover. I'm a dog lover. My family and I have 4 dogs which we super duper adore. Wala lang, singit ko lang. Pero yeah, going back to the topic, companion animals are our pets. So they provide us humans with social contact, pleasure, companionship. Diba? So, examples are like dogs, cats, including the strays, fish, birds, reptiles, small mammals like rabbits, and even horses. So here are the common problems that companion animals face. First is lack of regular care. This is because of lack of vaccination and anti-parasitic treatment, injuries from fighting, and also accidents. Kadalasan, nangyayari to sa areas where owners have low income level. Ayan. And the second one is health problems arising from the animal's genetics. Common to sa dogs, and ang may cause nito are breeders. So some breeders, they select animals for their appearance instead of their function. Third is undesirable behaviors. So common to both in dogs and cats, and ang cause nito is poor animal-related education. Example ng place or country that animals experience this problem is sa Iran. So, 85.6% of the dogs experience inappropriate elimination, fearfulness, and destructive behavior sa Iran. And then, sa Western countries naman, the most common reason sa USA and other countries kung bakit sila nag-euthanasia is because of undesirable behavior. So veterinarians can help to prevent this from happening by studying clinical ethology and offering behavioral counseling. So the fourth problem is obesity. So, in dogs and cats, obesity causes adverse effects on their health and comfort. Sa health, it predisposes them to diabetes mellitus and osteoarthritis. Examples lang yun. Tapos, sa comfort, in hot weather, kagaya sa country natin, it is difficult for obese dogs and cats to cool down. Let's go to birds, fish, and reptiles naman. Kanina kasi we talked about the own dogs and cats. So dito naman, there are so many different species involved that often there is little veterinary knowledge of their physical and behavioral needs. Many of these animals are not actually suitable pets. For example, parrots and other related birds, they are really not suitable as companion animals for many reasons, including owners' widespread ignorance and the difficulty in meeting their species typical needs. So example, flying. So in some countries, small mammals such as rabbits and rats are popular pets, especially for children. In these species, there is adequate veterinary knowledge, but owners are often ignorant of husbandry. Most health problems seen in pet rabbits are due to a poor or incorrect diet, with consequent problems for dentistry and digestion. We have now looked very briefly at the common welfare problems in dogs and cats and other companion animals. Next, we will look at how these problems arise and how to address them. So, bakit nga ba may companion animal welfare problems pa? Una, it's because of pet ownership and marketing. Pet owners are a big market and a lot of advertising presents pets as a desirable commodity because owners will then buy pet food, toys, and accessories for them. As people become more affluent, they may acquire pets without knowing much about them or their care. Second is ignorance. Owners being ignorant of the needs of the animal in their care. Third is poverty. Human poverty actually affects the welfare of companion animals because basic healthcare is not affordable. The fourth one is uncontrolled reproduction. This is often related to owners' attitudes as well as to access to appropriate clinical procedures. So what is the solution to companion animal welfare problems? It is... O, diba? Nag-manual. Sorry, low-budget podcast. Responsible pet ownership. Yun ang sagot sa problema. So as veterinarians, how can we help? So the goal is to help the owners to become more responsible and to make their pets healthy. So there are 5 areas that you would cover. These mirror the 5 freedoms and are interrelated. However, health is at the top of the list because this will probably be why the owner has brought the animal to you. During your clinical examination, you can also ask about the pet's social needs, nutrition, environment, behavior, so that you can ensure that you give the owner the right advice. The last point, which is behavior, is important, especially in the case of dogs. Understanding the behavior of dogs and cats takes knowledge of applied ethology, and it is a clinical discipline itself. One aspect of it is encouraging owners to use humane training methods based on rewards, not on punishments like electric shock collars. This is important so that the dog can understand the owner's communication and benefit from being in a predictable environment. Training is also essential so that the owner has humane control of the dog and it does not bite or injure other people or animals. So as vets, we should recommend these pet owners to neuter their animals because unneutered animals reproduce and create overpopulation, which in turn results in stray animals and overcrowded shelters. And unneutered animals can be more prone to some health problems such as prostate infection or enlargements in dogs and uterine cancers in rabbits. Third naman is we can advise the pet owners to have permanent identification. There are many reasons why it may be useful to identify companion animals, and in clinical practice, it is valuable to explain to your clients and to encourage them to use some form of identification. So registration or proof of ownership of veterinary certification require the permanent identification of the animal with a unique code or number linked with a coordinated database to keep the rest of the appropriate data. Identification is also important if a pet runs away, like tumakas sa inyo. A shelter or other authority can return him or her to the owner. So the best forms of permanent identification, there's 2 of them, tattoo and a microchip. So sa tattoo, these can be applied by using crush forceps on the pinna or by a handwritten technique to the skin of the ventral abdomen. So, ang advantage of using tattoo is that the numbers do not require specialist equipment to visualize them. Because on microchips naman, there's this specialized scanner that must be used para makita mo yung number na naka-implant dun sa animal. Yun, ang disadvantage nga lang dun is ang costly nung scanner. So, some shelters cannot afford that. So, basically nga pala, microchips are just small coils encased in a non-bioreactive casing. This is implanted under the skin of the animal in a sterile manner. So, meron namang isa pang another form which is tags. Pero this is not recommendable and there is no perfect system for implementing this because ang advantage lang nito is it is easy to read if there's no access to a scanner or central database. Tapos, ang disadvantage naman is animals lose them easily, especially sa cat. To summarize, we have looked at how vets can help promote the welfare of companion animals and reduce the number of strays by advising owners about neutering and responsible pet ownership. However, there are some cultures, dogs and perhaps cats, are not owned by an individual but by the community as a whole. To encourage the responsible care of those animals, you will have to be sensitive to the structure of the community. So, in regions where there are community dogs, you need to promote a degree of community responsibility. Otherwise, the animals can suffer from lack of food, shelter, veterinary treatment. To achieve this, you have to understand the culture of the community. That's the end of our podcast. I hope you learned something from today's episode. And if you guys have any ideas of what guests you want to be part of this podcast, please do let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, let us know what you think because this has been so fun and I'm excited to see what the next episodes will look like. Okay, bye-bye for now.